AA quickly. Is this about the kind of timeline you were hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in the organization hopes to continue to move up levels and play well, so that's definitely one of the goals. Ready to contribute, I guess.
Henry, what do you feel like you took away from the high A experience? How have you improved this season as a player?
I mean, that's a great group. Really, really like those guys. I think the biggest thing for me was learning a whole new set of personalities. That was part of the challenge. I was with this group last year, but as a catcher, you have to be able to get the most out of everybody, and not everybody learns the same, pitches the same. You got to give different feedback, so growing in that aspect is very important.
How familiar are you with a lot of the pitchers here? Is that kind of a big part of this step for you, is just kind of cementing that relationship with those guys?
Yeah, I think those relationships are all about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So, showing up every day, being that guy for them, I think it's very important. I started last year, and then even on the bench having conversations about those guys, what they need and whatnot. Just going to continue to build on it.
A lot of people in Pittsburgh identify, people here as part of that next playoff team, next core. Is it important for you to be kind of associated with them as well? Like, hey, I'm here with Peguero and Gonzalez and Priester and all these guys also.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the goal, whether it's AAA, AA, or whatever level you're at. I mean, everybody wants to be a part of that team. That's the goal. We're not just here to get better at baseball. That's part of it, but we're here to get better at winning so we can win in Pittsburgh. It's definitely a group that has a lot of people who aspire to be on that and have the potential to, so definitely excited to be a part of it.
John Baker was talking about how much they were kind of instructing you to work on your soft skills, relationship building, working on pitcher development, things like that. How much of that has really been the emphasis, more so than I think they know you can hit?
Yeah. It's very important. I think I showed that, and I think I'm going to continue to get better at it. The personality types from Midwestern kids who go to Louisville are different than kids from California or kids from South Carolina or Latin pitchers. So working on Spanish and working how to communicate no matter what the situation is, being able to de-escalate some guys or pump some guys up, it's important. So, I mean, that matters in big playoff games, like being able to manage a full game, whether it's controlling the running game, calling pitches, or just managing the dude on the mound. It's very important, so I take a lot of pride in it.
I was talking to Matt Gorski a few days ago, and he said the biggest thing he learned from you this season so far was how to wear a pitch.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, what was you hit a ton.
Yeah.
What was it like facing the pitching down there, and what was it like, half the time, grabbing your ribs and walking down the first base?
Well, I want to stay on the field, right?
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
So those things are unfortunate, and I mean, you see it with Acuna, where there are pitchers that know if they throw a fastball into a guy, they're going to hit it well. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a compliment, right? It's a compliment to get hit. It shows respect. It's important for me to navigate ways where when hit by pitches aren't feeling so good, a couple days after that, I'm still at my best and still playing. But I really enjoyed my time down there. I think that the game was similar to the college level. I think with probably a tick more talent and more strikeout stuff. But I felt confident there. I felt like that whole lineup was ready to do damage, and I think we did that.
You're a catcher, so you know how that whole process works. You want to pitch in, establish a play, send a message sometimes.
Yeah.
Was it a case, you think, of a little bit of, I don't want to say fear, but maybe some fear of the pitchers, or was it a little bit of them just trying to intimidate you?
I don't think it was intimidation. I think that's just a part of it. I think a well-executed fastball in really sets up all the other pitches, because then you have a little bit of urgency in your swing that, okay, I got to get to the fastball in, and then everything else plays up. So that's a weapon. I mean, we use it. That's why you never saw me get upset with a pitcher or anything like that. They're just trying to execute and keep me off balance. It's part of the game. And just like when I call a fastball, and that's part of it. Sometimes we hit guys, sometimes they hit guys. It's just a part of it.
You've got the entire Pittsburgh A-team media group here. You're 100 miles away now. I want to know what it's like for you personally. you're Henry Davis, you're in AA, you've got to prove yourself at this level, but you're also the #1 pick. You're also expected to be a guy for the future. How do you balance both of those things personally, or do you just try to avoid it and just focus on the baseball?
I definitely don't try and avoid it. I mean, it's part of it. But I mean, I have a lot on my plate. Like tonight, I got to call a good game for Luis Ortiz, and then when I'm up, I got to have a bunch of good at-bats. I think when you think about things like that.
And you have to deal with all this.
I wouldn't say dealing with this. Like, this is just responding. I mean, the fans are the most vital part of the game, and you guys are connecting better the players to the fans. So I wouldn't say deal with it. I mean, I enjoy it. But again, got a lot to deal with calling a good game, looking at the pitcher scouting reports. How are the pitchers doing? I had meetings with the manager, and meetings with the pitching coach today, getting on the same page with them, and then our hitters meeting. Like, what's the dude on the mound throwing tonight? There's a lot to worry about with contributing to Altoona winning games that I don't really have time to entertain the distractions.
Henry, you got a taste of this last year, and then you're back with relatively similar group playing for Kyron as well. Like, the culture that was created last year, you see it again this year, and can you maybe just sort of describe what's that like being a part of it with some of the same guys?
I think it's a constant throughout the organization. I think we're doing things the right way, detail-oriented, focus on winning and connection within the group. I think that's going to translate very well to Pittsburgh.
I think yesterday when we talked with John Baker, I think the way he phrased it was being the 1-1 is kind of a cross you have to bear. Because I think that was how we put it. But he said he thinks you're the kind of guy that is going to kind of embrace that. Do you see it does it feel like a cross sometimes that you have to lug around, or?
I think in certain settings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that the reason he says that is that he knows that when I get to the field, I have a job to do. It doesn't matter if I'm the last pick or the first pick. When I step up to the plate, it's my job to have a good at bat. When I go behind the plate, it's my job to manage a good game. So everything else kind of just falls away to a certain aspect.
The Pirates years ago had a first-round pick, a catcher, kind of square John, no nonsense guy. He got hit by a lot of pitches, if you know what I'm talking about. Did you get a chance to work with Jason Kendall, and what kind of an influence could he possibly have had on you?
It was really, really beneficial for me in the brief time he was in Greensboro, and it was so much less about on-field performance. Like, we didn't talk about swing mechanics or catching or whatnot. It was about how to manage a game, how to manage a staff, how to talk to umpires. Like, I mean, I think he's 5th all time in games caught. Is that right? Is anybody know?
Yeah, high up there.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And even again, like, that's what you aspire to. You aspire to be there for your team and catch a lot of games in Pittsburgh, and he's done that. So as much as I can, I'm going to take everything he says in and try and make myself not Jason Kendall, but if I can put a little bit of Jason Kendall into Henry Davis, I think I'll be in a good spot.
I know you said in spring training, like, your goal is, as much as you're enjoying being here right now, your goal is to be in PNC Park. Given what happened over the weekend, what did you do to make sure that your mind didn't go from, okay, I'm going to go from Greensboro to the Pirates, and because you feel like you're ready, you feel like you're ready to jump in and make that.
Yeah.
Even if there's a process.
Yeah. I think I could contribute to them winning games 100%. But my job, again, like we just talked about with the managing the game or having good at-bats, is to be here. Like, I'm not Ben Sherrington. So he has a lot on his plate and I have a lot on mine, so we each just try and do our jobs.
But how do you slow it down is what I'm asking. Like, how do you not make the jump from one to the other?
So when I go inside, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pull up video, and then I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to look at the pitcher scouting reports, and then I'm going to look at the notes that our pitching coach gave me. And then by that time, it's time to do my pregame, and then I have to play, and then at the end of the game, I'm really tired. Go to bed and do it again.
On top of all that, when you get to enjoy the fine city of Altoona, what have you noticed? I'm guessing you've never been here before.
I've driven through, so I don't know if it's specifically by this, but I know I've been through Pennsylvania a million times going to Louisville. But I got here last night. The first thing that stood out to me was how friendly everybody was. It's not a constant theme throughout the country. And I don't know, just happy to be here. It's been great so far. I don't know too much about it, but I'm sure I'll find out.
Are you tempted maybe on a Monday to hop in the car and make the hour and 15-minute drive?
That'd be fun. I really enjoyed all the games that I was at when I was in Pittsburgh for signing, and I know some guys went last night. I got in too late to go, but yeah, why not?
Mhm.